Hello and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And today we're taking a look at bows. So I've been doing weapon guides. I went through all the melee ones first because they were more easy and straightforward. Now I have to deal with the ranged weapons. And it's complicated because there's enough bows for a top 10, so that's why we're starting there. So this is the top 10 best bows in the game. Crossbows and handguns, I haven't quite figured out how I want to do those guides yet. So we'll get to those when we get to them. But for now, we're going to be taking a look at the 10 best bows in the game. And before you ask, yes, there are more than 10 bows. There are, in fact, 20 that I've found so far. So these ones are the best 10, and that's only counting level 3 bows. That's not counting any of the level 2 or level 1 bows. If you counted all of them, there would be 50 to 60. So before you are locked and loaded with the comment of, oh, there's only 10 bows in the game, trust me, there are plenty more. But with all that being said, we're going to be diving on in, and we're going to start off at number 10, which is the worst one on this list, but considering, you know, like I said, there's a lot of bows that are worse than it, it's still pretty good. So let's just do that. All right, and our 10th bow on the list is going to be the hunting bow from Cuman at level 3. It says, a beautiful hunting bow given to me by Cuman as thanks for rescuing him from captivity at Malachov Fortress. It has a minimum strength of 4 and minimum agility of 4 to use, has a power of 130, durability of 100, weight of 3 pounds, and price of 522 groschen. So, one thing to note before we continue talking here is I almost put the footpads bow at this spot, but the only reason I did not is despite the fact that it has 20 points more in the power stat, which is the main thing we focus on here, it has really low durability, so I find myself constantly having it being just critically damaged. So the hunting bow from Cuman is, in my opinion, is a better bow, even though it does slightly less damage. With that being said, it already said how to get it in the description, so once you've rescued Cuman from Malachov Fortress, you know, once you've gotten that far in the game, talk to him again once you get back to the Devil's Den, and talk to him about the rescue, and he will give you this bow. That's the only way you can get this in the game. Well, other than like a console command. But with that being said, that is the number 10 spot. I figured I might as well draw and fire a couple shots to see what happens. I'm not sure why the cursor is visible on screen. It's going to be distracting. But that's number 10. Let's move on to number 9. At number 9, we have the yew hunting bow at level 3, which you can see my character equipped with here. It looks a lot like the last one, just darker. This one, I don't know of a set location of where to find it. I know I've picked up plenty of them as loot, but I checked around at all of the different gamekeepers and places that I'm aware of where you can buy bows, and I did not find a level 3 variant of this for sale anywhere. There's almost certainly a level 2 variant for sale at Master Wenceslaus in Kuttenberg, but the level 3 variant, I can't guarantee. So it says, hunting bows are supposed to be strong enough to bring down larger game. This bow is made of yew, and besides an inattentive deer, it can also torment many a trapper if he is not wearing an iron skin. Minimum strength of 6 to use this one, and agility of 5, has a power of 150, durability of 100, weight of 3 pounds, and a price of 756.1 groschen. You can take a look at it outside of the screen there. So like I said, it's got a fairly standard bow design, I suppose. That's a good knocking point, Henry. Well done. But it's just darker, so I do like it aesthetically better than Cuman's bow, even though they're very, very similar. This one's just an upgrade over it because it does more damage. That being said, I've seen a lot of people talk about draw speed. I have not noticed a great degree of draw speed difference in any of the high-level bows. Once it gets up to, you know, the status we're looking at today where you're above 130 for the power, they seem to all take a while to draw. I mean, the top 3 definitely take the longest, I think, but with that being said, it doesn't make a huge difference to me. What I find to make the biggest difference with bows in this game is going to be the power stat and the arrows that you're using. But that is the yew hunting bow. Let's take a look at the one that comes in at number 8. And at number 8, we have the Cuman folded bow at level 3, which you can see before us here. So instead of a standard longbow design, we have a recurve bow, which is very cool. I definitely love the aesthetic of the Cuman bows in this game. It says, Cuman riding bows are one of the lighter bows, easy to handle even from the horse's saddle. Their strength comes from the layering of different materials, similar to better crossbows. This piece is well made and will certainly serve well. Has a minimum strength of 5 to use, agility of 6, it has a power stat of 150, durability of 100, weight of 3 pounds, and a price of 529 groschen. So overall, a very good bow stat-wise. As for location, I also do not know a set location of where to get the level 3 Cuman folding bow, other than killing Cumans, which there are enough of them in the game to get that well enough. So just taking a peek at it from the outside, you can see, once again, like I said, we have that obvious recurve design to it. We can see quite a bit of cord wrapping above and below where your hand rests. Big old nocks for the string up top, which makes sense. You don't want it to slip off on a recurve bow. But yeah, pretty good looking bow overall. But that is number 8. Let's move on to number 7. At number 7, we have another Cuman bow, this time the Ornate Cuman bow at level 3. This one has, or it says, the Cuman riding bows are one of the lighter bows. Well, it's the same description. I'm not going to read the whole thing again. Minimum strength of 7 to use this one, and agility of 8. Has a power stat of 160, durability of 100, weight of 3 pounds, any price of 1,197.1 groschen. So definitely getting a bit more expensive for this one. The Ornate Cuman bow at level 3, again, I don't have a set location where you can get this one. I know that's going to get annoying to hear over and over again in this video, but I only have, you know, I wrote down all the ones I could find. Like I said, you can probably buy this one here at Sigismund's camp at a different level, but at level 3, you're probably going to have to get it from loot, because I'm sure that's where I got it. Looking at it from the outside, it doesn't look that much different from the last Cuman bow, so, and that's going to be something you'll notice a lot with the bows in this game. They don't have that much visual variety. Basically, you have 2 designs, and it's a Cuman design, or a recurve design, and then a longbow design, and then the colors vary slightly. So you can see that the bow wood and the wrap on this is a different color than the last one, but everything else is identical. So that is the Ornate Cuman bow, which takes the number 7 spot. Let's move on to number 6. And at number 6, we're back to a longbow, this time with the level 3 variant of the Dogwood hunting bow, which you can see equipped here. It says hunting bows are supposed to be strong enough to bring down yada yada yada, same description as all the hunting bows, but except this one, unlike the U one, doesn't say that it's made out of yew. This one is made out of dogwood, and therefore is one of the weaker hunting weapons. So it's funny that it says that, even though, you know, it's got a higher stat than the U one did. But with all that being said, this one has a minimum strength of 8 to use and agility of 7, has a power stat of 160, durability of 100, weight of 3 pounds, and a price of 447.9 groschen. So this one is worth less than the ones we've been looking at before. And once again, I do not have a set location where you can buy this at level 3. Taking a peek at it from the outside, it looks fairly standard for all the hunting bows in this game. They all kind of look like this. You can see the color is different than the U-bow. The U-bow is darker than this. This one's a little bit lighter. But other than that, not a whole lot to make it stand out. At number 5, we have the Poacher's bow at level 3. Now this one is actually quite easy to find. You can find it by the old Poacher's hideout by Rock Tower Pond in the first region of the game over by Trotsky Castle. Well, actually by Rock Tower Pond, but it's in the Trotsky Castle region. And you'll find an old Poacher's camp, and it will just be hanging up in the back of the camp. It's quite simple and straightforward to get, so definitely one that you can grab real early in the game, and it's quite good. So you can see a bow I found in an abandoned poacher's hideout. Very good description. Minimum strength of 8 to use this one, and agility of 8. Power stat of 170, durability of 100, weight of 3 pounds, and a price of 652.6 groschen. So the appearance on this one is not too different from the last one we looked at. We're a little bit darker, our hand wrap is black, but again, looks like a hunting bow. Fairly good overall in my opinion, but nothing special. At number 4, we have the Cuman Chief's bow at level 3, which you can see here. It's probably the best looking of all the Cuman bows, and also stat-wise, it's the best one. So, same description as before. For most part, but at the bottom it says, this bow is a true masterpiece worthy of a famous Cuman chief. So, I suppose you have to be the most famous of Cumans to deserve the Cuman chief's bow. Minimum strength is 7 to use this one, and agility of 10. It has a power stat of 180, durability of 100, weight of 3 pounds, and a price of 1,081.2 groschen. I don't have a set location of where to get this one. I know that may be annoying, but that is the case. As far as the appearance, like I said, this one is the best looking Cuman bow in my opinion. So it's got the same basic shape, but we have that darker reddish brown, sort of a rich reddish color for the wood, which I really enjoy. And then our wrap is white, which contrasts very nicely against that. So like I said, a very good looking bow, one of the best looking bows in the game overall, definitely the best of the Cuman bows. So that is the Cuman Chief's bow, which comes in at number 4. Let's move on to number 3. At number 3, we have Ranyek's bow. This one is a more unique looking version of the standard longbow design, but we'll see more of that when we look at it from the outside. This one says, very nice bow. It was the first and last thing Ranyek won in the dice. Has a minimum strength of 9 to use and agility of 9. Has a power stat of 200, a durability of 100, a weight of 4 pounds, and a price of 1,119.8 groschen. So this one, as far as getting it, you'll have to be doing the Devil's Pack quest, and when you're investigating where to find Ranyek, spoiler alert here, so I guess skip it if you don't want to spoil spoil his mission for you, but he is dead, and he will be in a latrine pool outside of the tavern where you're looking for him, and you have to go wading through the pool. When you do, you can find his body, and on his body you can find this bow, and it's one of the best bows in the game, so I definitely recommend doing that. But with that being said, let's take a look at it. So taking a peek at it from the outside, shape-wise, again, we're the same as we have been for all of the longbow style bows in this game, but we have a very unique design feature, which is this cord wrapped appearance around it, or I'm not actually sure what that's supposed to be because it looks like the wood is actually like formed around it, so maybe it's a really tightly wrapped cord. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be, but it looks cool and it's very unique because, you know, most of the bows in this game do not have anything like that that makes them very unique. So that's Ranyek's bow, which comes in at number 3. Let's move on to our runner-up at number 2. At number 2, we have a longbow, finally, and it's the elm longbow at level 3. This one says, a long, strong bow made of elm. It can hardly be compared to the famous English longbows, but it can still do a lot of damage, both in the woods and on the war fields. It has a minimum strength of 13 to use and agility of 9, has a power stat of 200, durability of 100, weight of 4 pounds, and a price of 865 groschen. So, good news on this one. It's the second best bow in the game, at least in my opinion, because it has similar stats to Ranyek's bow. But you can purchase this one at level 3 from Master Wenceslaus in Kuttenberg. So if you want to get your hands on this one, you go to Kuttenberg, and down in the kind of right-hand side, you'll find Master Wenceslaus right here by the furthest east gate, and you can purchase it from him. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So it's one of the few really good bows in the game that can just be straight up purchased really easily. As far as what it looks like, we have a slightly more bulky and long design than the hunting bows that we've seen. And if we look up near the nocks at the top, you can see we get these little wooden humps, which I can point at with this annoying cursor that is for some reason visible. You can also see some knots in the design, which I like. It makes it look a lot more unique. But I definitely like the long bows. They're probably my favorite, well, bows. I was going to say ranged weapons, but bows to use in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And the elm longbow is a fantastic weapon. I used it for a good portion of the game until I finally found the one that came in at number 1. So that's the elm longbow, but let's move on to our best bow in the game. And that best bow is another longbow at level 3. This one is the ash longbow. And unfortunately, I don't have a spot where you can just go buy this one, so had to end it like that. So it says a long, strong bow made of ashen wood. It has a decent range, and thanks to its draw speed, it is suited very well for fighting. Has a minimum strength of 17 to use, agility of 11, has a power stat of 230, being by far the most powerful bow in the game, a durability of 100, weight of 4 pounds, and a price of 1,217.1 groschen. So definitely a very expensive bow, but it makes sense given the fact that, I mean, it's got a decent draw speed and it has the most power in the game for any bow. So why don't we just test that draw speed and see what it looks like when we're drawing it. So that's pretty quick. Not gonna lie, that's a decent draw speed. Definitely not any slower than any of the other high-end ones. And as far as what it looks like when drawn, very similar to the elm longbow, just a little bit darker, but the style is basically the same. So I like how Henry has his eyes shut. That's a very accurate way to fire a bow. But fairly solid looking weapon, and like I said, stat-wise, it's pretty much unbeatable as far as bows are concerned. But that's it. That is the top 10 best bows in this game, and when applicable, at least if I could, where to find them. There is, however, one other factor to consider when it comes to using bows in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and that's the arrows. So the top 5 best arrows in the game are what you can see in front of you here. At least this is the best ones that I have found. It's found in bulk, because I went into my inventory after I had been hoarding arrows for a long time and took these out. So it's entirely possible that there are some that fit in here that just, there must be less common, and so I didn't have enough of them to actually keep. But anyway, the piercing arrow is the one that I find a lot. I've found a lot of these, and they do seem very, very effective against armored opponents, especially plate armor, more so than a lot of other ones. For example, the wounding arrows are great against lightly armored opponents or for like face shots, but they definitely don't do as much damage when you shoot someone that's wearing plate armor with them, whereas the piercing arrow does. The long range arrow, it says it's for better accuracy at long range. I guess it's entirely possible that that's true, but maybe I just haven't done enough long range archery in this game to notice the difference. They all seem to be approximately the same as far as I can tell. The better hunting arrow, this one, it says it causes more bleeding damage. I don't know. I do use it for hunting because it's named to go with it. But I mean, it kills, especially when I'm using a strong bow, it typically kills any game in one shot. So maybe it is really good at it? I don't know. Then we have the enhanced long range arrow. It's just a slightly better version of the long range arrow. And the all around best arrow in the game by like a country mile, because look at that damage, is the black arrow. It does an insane amount of damage, and it basically basically when you're tying it with any of the top 3 bows, even top 4. So the Cuman Chief's bow does 180 damage. The Ranyek's and Elm longbow both do 200, and then the Ash longbow does 230. If you pair the black arrow on top of that, it's almost always a one-shot kill, even against heavily armored opponents. It's so effective, especially if you have your, marksmanship maxed out, so you're getting, all of your benefits from your different skills. So just overall, like I said, the bows are probably the most important, because I'd take an Ash longbow with crude arrows over a Hazel longbow with black arrows. But with that being said, this has been your bow guide. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was useful or entertaining, or for those of you that just wanted to know which bows are the best, or what else is out there if you've already got a good one. Hopefully this was useful. But that's all for today. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.